interested in getting your guys' take on this one. Hi, Cal TV. I'm interested in getting your guys' take on this one. Describe in your own words how the internet is changing getting into voiceover and staying in voiceover.
How is the internet changing? Well, it's already, we talked about it changing the face of radio, and obviously the way content is delivered. If you had asked me 5 years ago that the future people would like get rid of their DVR, or VCRs rather, and use a DVR, and then hard drives would just store, you know, endless gigabytes of shows and all that, like, I was like, wow, this is nuts, this is crazy. But I mean, we're at that point. But voice acting, obviously, it's made it to where not everybody needs to be, depending on the project. Now for anime, you have to be in the town, obviously, where the work is, or video games, or cartoons. But there's a lot of stuff that's done on the internet with a simple home studio setup. And I think that's opening up a lot of doors for people who aren't able to get to LA, New York, Texas, whatnot. And at least maybe make a little money, not a lot, but a little, cutting their teeth and getting into like commercials, or maybe audiobooks, or maybe an online flash animated thing. So in that respect, it's cool, because a lot of people are getting a lot of good practice. Is it a good business model? Not everyone is, yeah, I mean, everyone's kind of undercutting everyone else. It becomes a big Craigslist thing, and I was like, we'll pay $2 to read a 500-page audio.
And some carrots.
Yeah. And we'll pay you lots of them.
But you'll get it the day of.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think you're right on that, but it's like, there's a little manga project coming out that these guys are doing where they're taking The Legend of Zelda and they're making it, you know, they're animating it, and I get to be Link. And so, listen. I recorded it in Texas and sent it to them into the ether where they're at, but I think that it does make it easier for people to be a part of it, but it also makes it harder, because a lot of times, because it's so fast to ship stuff, casting directors, let's say they put out a notice and 100 people send in their thing. Well, the casting director's only going to listen to about the first 10, most likely. They're going to find what they want, probably in the first 10, probably the first 15, and they're probably not going to listen to the rest of them. So that's where it's difficult. But it's also difficult because it's kind of like the PlayStation 2, in the sense that, oh, everybody can make games for it, but about 5 of them are good. So that's kind of what happens there. So, I mean, how many times are you going to want to play American Idol on the PS2? It sounds like it's a good idea, and then you bring it home and you cry into your USB mic by yourself. But no, internet helps and hurts. It's like with anything, but I think it's still about the talent and the knowledge behind it. Because, like for example, I make films and things like that. The equipment's there for everybody to have access to, but man, just pop on YouTube for 5 minutes and you will see that, yeah, a lot of people have access to it. A lot of people shouldn't have access to it. Or some of the things you see on it, it's like, well, what is going on? Am I going into a time warp and I'm in the realm, the phantom zone of badness? What's going on? So, what do you think? You can actually auditions a lot online. A lot. He said.
But it is what makes it easy. You don't have to be there in person. You can just ship your stuff right to the internet. That's what's so easy.
Yeah.
It's easier.
People want you to use your mic. It's easier. Thank you. Who's next? Ken.
This guy right there.
Okay, this goes for Kyle. Now, a lot of people that I've known have admitted it. So, have you ever practiced trying to fly? Gohan gives Videl a lesson on flying. Everyone has tried to do it. Have you ever tried?
I haven't tried to fly.
There's
I
no
don't like
trying
that
for
scene in
him.
Almost Famous, like, you're golden God, and jump off the roof into the pool. Like, no, I haven't gone there. Not that method. I'm not going to break bones to, I like being in a small padded room. Wait a minute. No, I don't know. I mean, I guess you guys probably get questions like that too. Like your character does something zany or outlandish, and then they question you. Have you ever done things that your character have done?
Yeah, I checked my schedule. I don't have time for zany. Sorry. I'll only wear media hats. Okay. How come I didn't? That was a horror movie. Okay, so he was asking about Scream of the Banshee, which premiered on Sci-Fi. It was the 200th original movie on Sci-Fi, and had 1.54 million viewers that night. Thank you to the director for that, because that was all he was doing. And I was tweeting about the movie while we were watching. We were all watching it together. And actually, I was at a con, and I didn't have that channel at the con, and I'd already promised everybody I'd be tweeting, so it's like, humana. And then I said, well, Ken, I contacted my boy Ken, and I said, let's Skype it up, turn the camera to the television, and I was watching it through Skype, tweeting. But the reason that I didn't die is I was originally supposed to die. But the producers were on set, and they told me they really liked what I was doing on set and things like that, and what I was doing with the character, that they wanted me to live. So they changed the ending to where I would live for the sequel. So I can pretty much guarantee, seeing a lot of bad horror movies, that I will die in the sequel. Because you can't have the same character go through, you know, it's like whoever survives in the first one kind of ushers in the new class, you know? Yeah, it's like Saved by the Bell, the college years. It's like Screech, you know, really, he kind of keeps going, and then nobody else.
Unless you're Bruce Campbell.
Well, maybe.
Franchise, dude.
Yeah,
Franchise.
Franchissimo.
Or Nev Campbell from Scream.
Yeah. Do you have any personal remedies for if you have a sore throat or you're losing your voice or anything like that? You have to go on anyway.
Silence.
Actually, yeah, there's all sorts of different things. Hot tea with a lot of honey is a really good thing. There's Chinese throat, like cough syrup that can be bought online or in Chinatown in LA. It's like, it tastes kind of nasty, but it works. There's throat spray called Singer Saving Grace.
Oh yeah, that tastes gross. That tastes horrible.
But it works. 3 sprays and your palate is like, you know, especially if you have a morning session and you're going to be screaming a lot, and all of us have done a lot.
Hadouken! Shoryuken!
Yep. Hello, Ken. Can you do it? Sure you can.
Can you give us the kick, the hurricane kick? Yeah! Available now on Nintendo 3DS and all next-gen systems.
That's right. Hey, I keep hearing Hadouken on the 3DS commercial. Did you get paid for that? And I'm like, no.
The residuals never gonna find their way to the
It sucks.
Let's see, remedies for sore throat. Well, usually you just gotta call the session. I mean, when I was doing Holic, I mean, normally a character has about, what do you say for a good episode? Your character probably has, you know, 80 lines over 50 reactions or something like that. 80 lines over 50 reactions, something like that. Watanuki had 264 lines over 230 reactions. And so a lot of it was yelling at Domaki. So I lost my voice. And I wasn't sick, I just literally lost my voice. It was like 1, 2, 3, nothing's coming out. And so you just gotta call the session and just not talk. But it's it's really great if you're in a relationship and and you don't have to talk about your feelings and stuff. Yeah. Well, then you're like, hey, way to call me out. I don't know how to read. Let's see, who else can't?